is a very important concept of biology. It has been there in 8th class also, as well as it is a major part of biology section in class 9th also. It's just a small video to wind up with the main concept of the cell. In class 9th, we should start with the basic thing, that is what is a cell. Cell is a structural and the functional unit of life, as we all know. All the living things, the whole story starts up with the cell. Be it a small microorganism that we are facing right now, all the microbes have locked down the whole world, and be it a cell of an ostrich egg. So cells can be of variety of shapes, they can be of variety of sizes, and they are of variety of types. Cell types includes the prokaryotic, the eukaryotic cell, then later on we will proceed on with the plant cell and the animal cell. But the very basic thing about the initial part of the cell, which is very small section, but though it is very important, the cell has got a lot of shapes. It can be cuboidal, it can be polygonal, and you have drawn many times the nervous tissues, nervous cells also, that is almost branch and long. And when it comes to the size, it is small as well as it is too big. From 1 micron meter to a good number of micron meters. Then comes the major contributors who have given a lot of work and their time and energy on this particular findings of the cells. Robert Hooke 1665 started up with a concept of the cell, and he took its own model of a microscope and he gave up a structure, and it was given the name cell. But it was so interesting that the cell he discovered was just a dead cell. It is just a part of the comb, honeycomb like structures, and it was just taken out from the slice of the cork. Then later on, when we are moving on to these topics, some people, they came up with a lot of things. First thing, the cell theory. Mr. Schleiden and the Switchman, they two together in different parts of the world, they came up that all organisms are made up of, the cell is a basic structural unit of the cell, and all cells arise from pre-existing cell. Then Mr. Virtue came over in later years and the cell theory was completed. Now first of all, today in this video we are going to focus on what basically the parts of the cells are. Just imagine yourself in a room with a wall, a room with an airy content, and a room where all the switchboard is there which is controlling that whole room. Same ways, a cell has also got a structure. It has got a cell membrane, the first part of this whole section. Then it has got a control center, and then there is a airy jelly-like substance in between, floating in between, which is going to keep the parts of all the cells alive and keep them functional. So now, our first thing will be focusing on the cell membrane, the outermost boundary. So what is basically, we are going to focus on 3 aspects. Number 1, what is the location and how it looks like, what is the structure, and the very important thing is what is the function behind it. So when we are going to talk about the location and the nature, first thing you must understand one thing, Abhi we are talking about general. We are not talking specifically about the plant cell or the animal cell, because here then the difference will come over. Abhi we are talking about just an outer membrane. This outer membrane is quite flexible. You can move it. It is turning around. It is easily flexible and it is thin. Definitely that is why it is a flexible thing. The nature is very important because this is going to be taken up later on for osmosis and all. So it is selectively permeable. Then comes the structure of this. Basically the cell membrane is living part and it is made up of organic molecules, the lipids and the proteins. When it comes to the function, as you all know, it acts like a barrier. Barrier means it is going to stop certain things and it will definitely allow certain things to go in and out of the cell. So first thing, it allows the entry and exit. Second thing, it gives a shape to the cell, definitely. And very importantly, it is going to serve as a barrier. Please focus these 3 points. And in plant cell, you will find cell membrane, and along with it you will find a cell wall. Cell wall is basically made up of cellulose and it is non-living. Now let us focus on the control center, that is the nucleus. Now this diagram is not properly appropriate, but it will give you just a slight idea of what a new cell is all about. When we are going to talk about the nucleus, it is a control center. So whatever information the cell has got, what type of cell it is, from what is its origin, all information will be stored here in this nucleus part. So it too has got many parts and divisions. First thing, you must understand the 4 parts here, that it is made up of, it is also again a membrane. It has a membrane, it is a round like structure, so it has also got a membrane which is going to differentiate the material of nucleus from this cytoplasmic material. So keeping 2 things aside, so we need to cover it, and when this content need to be covered, so it has got a boundary, and this boundary is called the nuclear membrane. Now comes the liquid inside this. The liquid inside this and the liquid outside this will be different. So it will be called nucleoplasm because the origin is from nucleus, and this part outside material is called cytoplasm. Students, here you must understand that cytoplasm, the cytoplasm and the nucleoplasm together, they are called the protoplasm. So sometimes people do refer in certain books that a cell has a protoplasm inside. So when they are saying protoplasm, that means they are talking about the cytoplasm as well as the nucleoplasm. Fine. Now when we have talked about this nucleus and the parts, the very important thing, what it actually holds, it actually holds the chromatin material, which is a thread-like structure, which later on, when the cell grows, it later on condenses and becomes a chromosome. And this particular thing is holding up your DNA, the genes, the carrier of information. So main thing you have to focus in this whole scenario of the cell, that whatever information it has got, it has been held up in here, a thread-like structures. The chromatin, the thread-like structures will be there, and these structures are called the chromatin fiber, which will later hold, which will later become certain butterfly-like structures, and they are called the chromosomes. Now what is a function? It is, first function we have discussed, it is a control center. Second information that we have talked about it, that it is a storehouse of genes. And very important, so whatever information it will have, it will transmit it to the next cell also. Whenever the cell will do the reproduction, it will divide, then that information will be passed on to the next cell also. Now, is this the only thing? A boundary and a jelly-like thing and a nucleus? No. A cell needs, just like us, we have so many body parts. Every part is different from the other part. Eye has got certain function, ear is doing something else, heart has got another function. Same ways, a cytoplasm holds up too many organelles inside. Like, I have just made out a coverage of this particular thing, the cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is going to have certain organelles, though I have not mentioned everything, but certain few things are there. Mitochondria, this mitochondria, the endoplasmic reticulum, the plastids, the vacuoles, the Golgis, the lysosomes and the centrosomes. When we are going to talk about the types of the cell, then the types will decide which organelle need to be present and which organelle need to be not there, absent. So we will keep that thing aside. When we later on in the next slide we are going to do that. So first of all, let's have an idea what everything the cell has got. First thing, it need to have some energy. So mitochondria is a rod. It is a round oval, double layered, and very importantly, it has got crystals. The inner membrane is folded, and it is folded to form the crystals, and here the ATP generation, the energy is being produced. Now when we are going to talk about the vacuoles, vacuoles are simply the fluid filled sacs, empty space, and since it may have, it will definitely provide, it will be storing the nutrients, and it is going to provide the turgidity. Let's move on to very important thing, that is the endoplasmic reticulum. Depending upon the ribosome present, if the ribosomes are present, then endoplasmic reticulum may be smooth or rough. If they are present, it is rough endoplasmic reticulum. If they are not present, it is smooth endoplasmic reticulum. And then comes a very important section, that is the plastids. As I earlier said, that depending upon the types, if it is a plant cell, its origin is from plant, be it an onion or be it a banana leaf, then in that case we are going to see the plastids. But if it is my body cell, my cheek cell, then I'm not going to have the plastid because I'm not doing the photosynthesis. So basically the main function is that this plastid is basically of three types: the chloroplast, the chromoplast, and the leucoplast. If it is chloroplast, it is supposed to have the function of photosynthesis, because in that particular case it is again an oval structure with thylakoids and which are doing the part of photosynthesis. If it is chromoplast, it is present in the fruits, and if it is leucoplast, then they are colorless and they are present in root part and stem parts. Now what these other things are doing, only they are important? No, they are also important. Everything has got a business to do. As I always say, the nature has so many things to be unfolded, and one of the thing is that Golgi apparatus is doing the business of packaging and dispatching. Like if Diwali is there and we want to gift somebody, we are going to gift something to somebody, then our focus is it should look nice and it should be wrapped up in a nice paper. Same thing, a cell, whatever it is producing, it is packaged properly by this Golgi apparatus and then it is dispatched off. Lysosome, it is doing the same function. When a cell is in also a lockdown situation, when it is not able to take the food, it is not able to survive there, things are not properly working out, then this lysosome starts releasing certain things and it causes the self-digestion, breakdown of the cell, and that is why, because of this function, it has been given a title called suicidal bags.